Good morning. It is Tuesday of the week before Easter, and I want to look just briefly in a devotional moment at the Gospel of Luke, chapter 20, the first few verses. Uh, One day, as Jesus was teaching the people in the temple and preaching the gospel, the chief priests and the scribes with the elders came up and said to him, "Tell us by what authority you do these things, or who is it that gave you this authority?" This encounter comes right after what we talked about yesterday, the cleansing of the temple. Now it says one day as Jesus was teaching, so it may have been a day or a few days after that cleansing of the temple, but it follows on that. Jesus has restored the temple to its purpose, the meeting place of God and man. He has driven out the greed and corruption that had come in, and now he is taking that purpose to a new level, for he is teaching the people in the temple and preaching the gospel. It is even more the meeting place of God and man. Here is God made man teaching the people. And as Jesus is doing this, he has come to fulfill the purpose of the temple, for he is the true meeting place of God and man. But he is here in the temple. He's preaching the gospel. And the people are listening. In contrast, the chief priests, the scribes, the elders come up and they challenge his authority. And it is a fascinating narrative. You can dig into it. They ask him about his authority. He turns the tables and asks them, what about the authority of John the Baptist, who was sort of the forerunner of Jesus' ministry? And they get entrapped in the same kind of situation where maybe they were thinking to trap him, where they don't even really think about what the truth is, because all they care about is the consequences, what's going to happen to them. And they have to answer, "We don't know." And they get the answer from Jesus, "Well, then neither will I tell you by what authority I do these things." It's a remarkable parallelism. And one of the lessons is by refusing to acknowledge the message of God in John's ministry, they do not receive the message of God in Jesus Christ. By refusing to acknowledge the word of God spoken through John, they find themselves hardened towards the Word become flesh who has come for their salvation. But we look at this passage and this challenge, and Jesus, his reflection upon his authority. And it is a reminder to us that God has sent his Son for us. The Lord has reached down to us, and we have the opportunity and the blessed privilege and calling to draw near to him, to listen to his word, to accept this offer of life and restoration. We should be convicted of the hardness of our hearts. We should be warned not to reject the offer of God, but instead to believe, to receive, to follow the one who came from heaven for our redemption. May the grace of the Lord sustain you today.